This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cotodonman welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe on this day. On this day, June the 14th, 1998, Michael Jordan's famous last shot for the Bulls as it turned out to be. It wasn't his last shot of his career, that's for sure. So anyway, the Chicago Bulls were aiming for their 6th NBA title of all time. They were the defending champs. They won 62 games and were the best team in the East. The Raptors, on the other hand, were terrible. They only won 16 games that year. So the Bulls were the 1 seed. The Utah Jazz narrowly beat the Sonics and Lakers for the 1 seed in the Western Conference. And the funny thing is that Utah won both games against the Bulls in the regular season. Well, if you play a team from the other conference, you play it twice. Once on each state at each arena. So this was huge and all that. Utah was given the best chance at the finals because of the fact that Utah swept the Bulls head to head. The Jazz actually had issues with the Houston Rockets, who were the 8th seed that year. So they were pushed to the limit in the best of 5 first round. Remember, in the NBA, the best of 5 was the first round till 2003 when it's best of 7. Then the Jazz took care of the San Antonio Spurs with Robinson and Duncan 4-1, and they swept the LA Lakers in the conference finals. Surprised that Kobe and Shaq didn't crush Utah. Regardless, the Bulls swept the New Jersey Nets. They took down Charlotte. They actually had a tough time with Indiana and Reggie Miller because Reggie made a famous 3-pointer. I think it was, game 4 or something like that? So anyway, it was a battle royale. The Jazz had Shandon Anderson, Anton Carr, Howard Isley, Greg Foster, Jeff Hornacek, Troy Hudson, Adam Keefe, Karl Malone, Chris Morris, Craig Ostertag, Byron Russell, John Stockton, and Jack Vaughn on their squad. The Bulls had Keith Booth, Randy Brown, Judd Buechler, Scott Burrell, Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Steve Kerr, Joe Klein, Tony Kukoc, Rusty LaRue, Luke Longley, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and Bill Wennington on their roster. In Game 1, Utah won in overtime, 88-85. Stockton with 24 points, MJ with 33. Game 2 saw the Bulls win after being trailed after 3 quarters, win 93-88. MJ had 37. Game 3, Utah was really crappy. They only put up 54 points. They scored 14 in the first, 17 in the second, 14 in the third, 9 in the fourth. Can you believe it? 54 points in a championship game, NBA championship game. Pathetic. The Bulls crushed them. They scored 96 themselves. So, yeah. It was amazing and all that. And then Game 4, the Bulls beat the Jazz 86-82. So it looked like the Bulls were going to win MJ's 6th title on home court. Not so fast. Utah pulled up a massive 83-81 win against the Bulls. So the Bulls would have to win their 6th NBA title on the road if they did anything. And it was a tight game and all that. Scottie Pippen had an injured back and it wasn't really much of a thing. The Bulls had to use MJ and all that. Anyway, there was controversy as Utah actually was cheated in the second quarter. Howard Isley hit a 3-pointer, but the referee, Dick Betheda, said that it was waved off because he didn't get it off in time. Shot clock violation. Although TV replay said that the ball was out of Isley's hands before the shot clock hit 0. The worst part was that, there was no with replay at that time. So that could have been critical. However, Utah, with 41 seconds left, did take an 86-83 lead on a John Stockton three-pointer. MJ made a layup to be 86-85. Stockton tried to pass the ball to Karl Malone. Probably the Bulls would have been forced to foul him, but Malone fumbled it, and Jordan stole the ball and dribbled down the court. Byron Russell was told to guard him. It was one-on-one, 10 seconds left. He dribbled right, then crossed over to his left. And MJ hit that 20-foot shot. Chicago with the lead. If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, it'll be worth it, or something like that. That's what Bob Costa said on NBC. Rumors were that MJ initiated contact with Russell, which would have been an offensive foul, but the replay said he didn't, and the Bulls had to leave with 5 seconds left. There's still time for Utah to sink the winning bucket, even a two-pointer, but they failed, and MJ did it. 45 points in Game 6. He was named Finals MVP for the sixth and final time. And he did it. He put up 33.5 points a game in that one. In the finals, Karl Malone put up 25 to lead the Jazz. So it was awful and all that. Funny thing, MJ winning the NBA Finals MVP. All 6 finals he competed in, he won it all 6 times. 6 NBA titles and 6 things in 6 seasons. This was amazing and all that. In fact, the 1998 Finals had the highest Nielsen ratings in NBA history at that time, 18.7, and surpassed the 98 World Series Nielsen ratings, making the first time in history the NBA outdid the World Series in ratings. Well, it was easy when the Yankees frickin' were dominant in 98 and swept as San Diego Padres in the finals. So anyway, it was amazing. Bob Costas on play-by-play with Doug Collins and Isaiah Thomas being color analysts and all that. It was the first time since NBA had the NBA rights. NBC had the NBA rights in 91 that Marv Albert was on play-by-play. Usually it was Marv Albert, but because of his sexual assault problems, he was let go by NBC. Rightfully so, too. Funny thing is that this is the last time the Bulls and Jazz have been to the NBA Finals as of this year. Unfortunately, the Bulls dynasty broke up. Many players left. Phil Jackson left. Michael Jordan retired, but that wouldn't last too long. Yeah, the Bulls were just blown up, if you will. They put up only 13 wins in the lockout short 1999 season. They wouldn't make the postseason until 2005, so that's huge. Yeah, Phil Jackson declined an offer to coach another year. Then he would surprisingly come back for the Lakers, helping them win 5 NBA titles in 2 separate stints. So he won 11 NBA titles as a head coach, beating Red Auerbach's mark. Ron Harper would actually lead the Bulls for the Lakers and won titles in 2000-2001. The Jazz kept going to the playoffs, though, each year. But after 2000, but in the next 5 years, they either lost in the first or second round. They didn't have like a long run. And the 2003 offseason, Stockton decided to retire and become one of the best players to only play for one team in his NBA career. Not even LeBron or even MJ can prove that because, you know, they went to multiple teams. Malone would go to the LA Lakers. Stupid move. Well, anyway, MJ would retire and all that. But 2 years later, as he was part owner of the Washington Wizards, he thought he could help Washington out and decided to play a couple years for them. But no playoffs. Scottie Pippen was traded to Houston during the offseason. He would play with the Bulls in 2004. Dennis Rodman was released by the Bulls and signed with the Lakers mid-season, playing 23 games before being released. The Bulls re-signed Steve Kerr, but then stupidly traded him to the Spurs, where he would win 2 more titles with them in 99 and 2003. And of course, Steve Kerr is head coach of the Golden State Warriors, who are aiming for the NBA championship as we speak right now. Luke Longley retired in 2001. So yeah, the Bulls were really blown up and all that. It's just amazing to see what could happen when you just give up and all that, despite the fact you've won 6 championships in 8 years. Pathetic, don't you think? Anyway, yeah. It's still an iconic shot, even though MJ would not stay out of retirement for long. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.